This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
A very pleasant good morning. 6 minutes after 10 o'clock, 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, Las Vegas time. And that's where Mike King happens to be. Of course, Charles Moskowitz is in beautiful Boston, Massachusetts. Good morning, guys. Hey, how are things going?
Well, the market got down to 1992 support, which was what my support level was in the S&P. Typical September with a little weakness here for no particular reason.
Well, there's no weakness at Boeing, though, huh, Michael?
Well, Boeing looks fantastic. Boeing is a $150 stock.
Man, nothing like Ryanair.
That's one of Charles' favorites. Boeing is building a nice reverse head and shoulders base.
Hey, you know something else, too? I just noticed something about on the Market Watch website. And I know you guys talk about Apple all the time, and they're supposed to make their big announcement today. Why is everybody taking pot shots at them? I mean, it's the headline on this is Apple is everything that's bad about Silicon Valley. And you just think, wow. I don't know.
People love to hate it, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I mean,
it's not as big a name in the computer business. Macs are still, I'm going to guess, anybody who owns them will tell you they wouldn't own anything else.
Right.
But the percentage of owners of Macs is ridiculously low.
Oh, yeah.
Versus any of the, the big ones, HP, for example.
Yeah, but
the second thing is that historically, Apple is a sell on the news. I mean, let's remember that the stock just went essentially from, on the basis of the split, just went from 60 to 105.
Mm-hmm.
So without the stock, it went from 400 to around 100 right now. So it went from 400 to 700.
Wow.
So you're up 75%, and it has. The funny thing is, I'm sitting here with CNBC on in the background, and they have John Scully on, who was an abominable failure at Apple, and yet they have him, sitting here talking about, what the risks are in the business.
Hey.
It's like CNBC also has Henry Blodgett on all the time, a convicted felon who's no longer in the business. That's a hard one for me.
All right.
I watch most of it with the sound off anyway, but those two are, filler.
All right.
And not particularly good.
Let's talk about CNBC while you happen to be there, which really, if you looked at the Nielsen numbers last week, the lowest number of viewers in 30 years for CNBC.
Well, I think that's part of it is that people are somewhat disinterested in a market that everybody will tell you is, the cleanest dirty shirt in the laundry.
Yes.
Nobody running around asking people about this, especially the millennials, they're not interested.
Yeah.
They just don't see the upside. And it brings to me the thought of when I went into the investor relations business from being a broker. The market had gone from 700 to 7,000, and I just didn't expect that it was going to, I thought it was a good business move, personally. And here we are at 17,000.
Right, sure. Well, speaking of good moves, let's get into cars. Again, Market Watch column talking about BMW's electric car, which is I was shocked to see this, the i3, which is yeah, 41,000 is a lot of money, but still for a car now, it's not that expensive, especially when you're talking an electric vehicle. And apparently, it has really kicked Tesla in the gut. I mean, it's Tesla shares are down, and BMW is going crazy.
Okay, let's correct something here.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Tesla shares are not down.
Okay. All right.
I mean, they may be down today or down yesterday.
Yep.
But the stock has gone from 30 to 300.
Yeah, they did it. Yeah, record sales.
So,
yes.
I mean, the issue that I've seen the BMW car, and it is nice. I'm more impressed. The guy who does the auto stuff on CNBC, Phil LeBeau.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yesterday he was talking about these self-driving things, and he had a demonstration where they had a Range Rover equipped with whatever this equipment is, parked on the top floor of a parking garage. He was standing on the other side of that garage, of the parking area.
Right.
And there was a wall between him and the car. And he pushed a button on the fob, and the car started and drove about 5 miles an hour around that wall and stopped in front of him.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
I mean, everything that I read something on Bloomberg or maybe Yahoo yesterday and again this morning about self-driving cars available 2016, which when you think about it, if they're talking about a 2016 model year, that comes out in the middle of 2015.
Yeah,
roughly a year from now.
I think Cadillac was talking the 2017s, which will be out in 2016. But it is fascinating. Now, the downside to all of this is the fact that Tom Sullivan yesterday afternoon on our air and on Fox as well interviewed a hacker.
Oh, yeah.
Who talked about, I will be able to hack into any automobile once they hit the road. And it's
they'll
like,
come up with something.
Oh, man, yeah. But
you know what they'll do, Greg?
What?
And the fix is so simple. On my E-Trade account, they sent me a little fob, that self-generates numbers that are good for and giving
The all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee with forward collision and lane departure warning, because even a restless mind needs peace of mind.
Can you imagine that it will produce 6,500 high-paying jobs?
Yeah, that's amazing.
in addition to 3,000 construction jobs building this plant. You know, the lithium comes from Esmeralda County in Nevada, which one of our companies, RM Exploration, is working feverishly to find new projects. They will make the batteries for all of these other companies.
And Mike, isn't it the only lithium mine in the country?
One of the few. There's probably other. It's the only one that is developed. Esmeralda County is the only county well known for lithium.
Is there anything in that county? That's just desert, isn't it?
And lithium.
And lithium.
In the Mustang Ranch.
Oh, come on now. All right. That's the first time in 7 years we've had a reference to the Mustang Ranch in this place.
But they were talking about it, that this guy who was big in getting the move there is the owner and the developer around that area, including the Mustang Ranch.
Mustang Ranch, yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So,
by the way, so Mike called me the other day and said, I really like the TBT. The TBT is the, the ETF for higher rates.
okay.
The rates are going up.
I'll believe you. I don't know what you're talking about, but go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a bond ETF. If bonds go down and rates go up, this goes up.
Gotcha. Okay, that I understand.
So he called me up at 3:56 and said, I really like this, we ought to buy it. So I tried. And by the time I got the text out, the market was closed.
Oh.
And so the next morning, I immediately put out the text again. And frankly, I was really pleased because rates moved exactly the opposite way. They moved down dramatically. And so instead of paying $1.06 for them, I think we paid about 60 cents for them, or 61 cents.
Wow.
They're currently trading at $1.03, up a nickel, and rates have moved from, he called me at 245, 246 in the rates. The rates got down to 241, which doesn't really seem like a lot, but it is in that market. And here we are at 249 and change, and everybody, excuse me, everybody and their brother are saying, we may have put in a bottom here in rates, and they could move substantially higher. And all the commentary the last couple of days has been exactly, rates are going to go higher, rates are going to go higher. I think I mentioned it in the letter. If this trade is correct and rates do in fact go higher, it will also help big time the financials. And I haven't put a position on yet in the XLF, which is the ETF for financials. But the yield curve was flattening pretty dramatically, which really hurts the banks because they can't borrow money and put it out at any reasonable rate. And some of the banks, nobody owns CDs anymore. I mean, you should know down there in Florida where the fixed income capital of the world, people are really hurt. But as rates turn up, all of a sudden,